What's going on, everyone? Today we have to talk about Toshi because, as you can see here, Toshi is down and it's actually broken out of one of the patterns that we have been in for such a long time. But we're going to talk about a new pattern that we actually have forming here in Toshi and what this could mean for Toshi. So anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Go ahead and become a member of the channel, guys. This video was actually requested by a member. So big shout out to you, to the member that requested this. And guys, go ahead and become a member. It's only $9.99 per month. And you can have me do a technical analysis on any crypto of your choice, as long as it's not some type of low cap scam coin. All you got to do is become a member, comment on any one of my videos, letting me know what you want me to go over next, and I'll go over that for you guys. So anyways, let's get into it. Again, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But let's look at some numbers here on Toshi. So as you can see, we are down 4.8% in the last 24 hours, 8.7% in the last 7 days, 34% in the last 14 days, and 36% in the last 30 days. But we're still up 186% inside the last year. So that's pretty good. Volume's pretty low at 20.6 million. Market cap at 216 million. One thing that we don't have yet inside Toshi is a Binance listing. And I think Binance listings change everything for projects. And also Robinhood listings are really good for projects too. So we definitely need to see those for some more volume. But the biggest ones right now that we have is Coinbase. And so that's where a lot of our money is coming from. Bitmart, a lot of the money in there is coming from Gate.io as well. Bybit, KuCoin, Upbit. So all the top exchanges. But let's go ahead and go over other things here. So as you can see, we now have 985,191 holders inside of Toshi. Now we have 985,210. So you see how quickly we just got about a good 20 holders, right? Like, or a 30 or something like that. But yeah, we just got a bunch of holders like within minutes. But anyways, moving on from that, some people have been pointing out a pattern that's going on, and I'm gonna talk about that pattern in a second here, guys. So remember, whenever we're going and we're doing these technical analysis, remember there's always two directions things can go. You don't ever want to be too bullish. The reason why I show these posts on Twitter and stuff is because everybody always is going towards the bullish direction, but they don't look at the overall sentiment of the market and of the certain coin that they're trading, because the whole overall market could start going up and then Toshi start pulling back, or vice versa. So anything can really happen in the market when you look at it from that perspective. We're just looking at it from the Toshi perspective. I'm not even going to talk about Bitcoin in this video. We're looking purely at Toshi. So currently what we're seeing is a rising, well, first the rising wedge, right? So as you know, rising wedges are bearish patterns, right? They have like an 82% win rate to the downside. So rising wedges are pretty bearish. When you see that, most of the time you're going to go down, right? I was hoping that Toshi would go down all the way up here, like around February or March 2026, because, you know, that's when that's when I believe the market's going to be done. Like the crypto market's going into bear market mode after February 2026. That's just my personal opinion, but everyone has their own. But anyways, I was hoping that it could extend till then, but it's kind of a good thing it didn't do that, because then we would have like a set price. We would stop around like 0.0013, which is hardly anything from where we are. It's like 100% gains is nothing, right? This is a bull market. We want to see more than 100% gains. So it's kind of good that we broke that falling or that rising wedge. It's good that we broke out of the rising wedge, because the rising wedge kind of limits us. And now we no longer have that bearish signal on us, right? But now we're seeing another bearish signal, right? And before I show you that, I do want to show you we are oversold on the %R trend exhaustion. So oversold on there. And you can also see the MACD has selling, yes, but the buying is starting to come back in. You can kind of see how it's starting to look like it's turning into more buying pressure, but we'll have to see. But all in all, there's a possibility for a reversal, right? All in all. But another thing that I also want to show you guys is what we have forming up currently here on this hourly chart. So this right here is a symmetrical triangle, but we came into it from a downtrend, which makes it a bearish symmetrical triangle. Now, symmetrical triangles are some of the most weakest and most fickle patterns that you can use in trading. Why? Because it's either up or down, right? It could go either way. right? Whenever you come into it though from a downtrend, it makes it more likely to continue down. Whenever you come into it from an uptrend, it makes it more likely to continue up, right? But sometimes when you come into it from an uptrend, it still ends up going down at the end of it. And I see this time and time again with a lot of these symmetrical triangles. And then a lot of times, even when we come into it from a downtrend, sometimes it'll even go up, right? So there, this isn't one of the best patterns, but what I like about this pattern is after it's done, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? And that's kind of what I want to talk about. If this does what it's supposed to, which is go down from the bearish symmetrical triangle, then what we know is the first area it's going to end up going to 0.00049, and then all the way down here to 0.00042. So we know those are the first two areas for this to go. And if it keeps going, then 0.00037, right? And then if it were to go to the upside, we also know that we would have to go up here to this first resistance at 0.00062, and then at the Fibonacci resistance at 0.00074. So if it does what this pattern is supposed to do, prepare for a downtrend, prepare for a pullback. You might be able to get in at a better price if it does pull back. But remember, this is one of the most fickle patterns inside of trading. It's one of the most easiest ones to be invalidated because it only has a 54% win rate to the downside, and then for the the bullish ones, only a 54% win rate to the upside. So this does not have that good of a win rate. So I wouldn't sell anything right now just because it looks like it's going to continue downwards. But I also wouldn't buy any either, just in case you were hoping that it takes off from here, because it may pull back down further. So honestly, now I would just hold. And if it does start to pull back, I would start to look to buy more at 0.00042, and then buy a little more at 0.00037. That's what I would be doing personally. And big shout out to the members as well, and big shout out to the member that recommended this video. But yeah, I think Toshi is going to have a discount in its price very, very soon. And then another support area we have down here that I'm actually noticing is this. As you can see here, support. So that's 0.00029. So 0.0029 is also a support. But if there's a drop, I don't think it'll go too far below 0.00037. Too many zeros, right? I think it would do something like this, and then it would start to, make its way back up if it did that, if it even did that, right? My hopes is that Bitcoin can start taking off now. And I know I said I wouldn't talk about Bitcoin, so I'm not going to do a whole technical, but I will show this. Bitcoin's also going through a falling wedge here. So I'm waiting for Bitcoin to break out of its falling wedge to the upside. And there's actually a lot of coins going through bullish signals. Falling wedges are bullish signals, so that could go to the upside. I just made a Zcash video, and Zcash is currently going through the same signal here. And as you can see with Zcash, it's also going through this falling wedge. So if Zcash could break up to the upside, that would be perfect, as well as Bitcoin doing that. That would also be perfect. So it's just like the odds will start falling into Toshi's favor if like the whole overall market is showing bullish momentum, right? If the whole overall market is looking bullish, that's good for Toshi. But we also have bearish signals inside the market. Like this right here is a bearish expanding triangle, and this is on Pudgy Penguins. So there's a little bit of mixed signals I'm seeing when it's coming to like meme coins. But utility coins and Bitcoin, they're doing well. But like Pudgy Penguins and meme coin, it has a bearish signal here. If you take it to the overall sentiment, what did we just now do? We just broke down from a bearish pattern. We just now broke down from a bearish expanding triangle here. And then as you can see, we come into the second bearish expanding triangle on the shorter time frame, another bearish signal. So it's almost the same thing with Toshi, where it's throwing up two bearish signals for us. We already dropped from one of them, and now we're about to drop from the second one, possibly. So it's looking like right now it's Bitcoin season. Well, obviously it is, because we already know Bitcoin season, Ethereum season, altcoin season, meme coin season. That's how it always went. But now that the institutional investors are in, it doesn't look like it's going that way anymore. It's looking like it's going to be really hard for us to predict when things are going to happen, just because like the institutional investors, it's going to be whatever season they say it is. Right now, it is AI coin season, and it is also privacy coin season, right? Privacy coins are doing well. AI coins are doing well. From now on, we're going to see sectors in crypto doing well, just like the stock market. Because if you notice in the stock market, when these institutional investors are putting money in the stock market, they're going all in on tech, and then after tech, they all take their money and take it out of tech. Tech starts dropping, and then they put it in health stocks and medical stocks, and then they'll take it out. They'll put it in oil stocks, and then all those will start tanking once they take it out, and then they eventually start to put it in stuff like gold, and then gold starts to pump like how it did now. And now we see that gold's pulling back a little bit. They take the money out of gold. They take and put it a little bit back into crypto. So we got to keep following the sectors that the big money whales and the institutional investors are going to. And right now, it's not meme coins, and it's just not meme coins, right? We're seeing all these other ones. We're seeing AI coins and privacy coins doing well. So that's why when we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a bullish signal. That's why when we look at Zcash, Zcash has a bullish signal. But we look at meme coins like Toshi and like Pudgy Penguins, they all have bearish signals. And also the member that requested this, big shout out to you again. He wanted to know about how this pertains to like bonk and stuff like that. Another thing is, you know, everything is bearish right now, right? When you look at all the meme coins, they all have the same bearish type of signals. When you look at bonk, I haven't even looked at bonk, but I can kind of look at it and tell that something bearish is happening here. But I don't know, it looks a little bit weird, but we'll have to see. This is a bullish pattern. So hey, maybe bonk is bullish. This is a ascending triangle right here. So maybe bonk has the possibility to break to the upside, and maybe the other ones are false signals. So that's all we can really hope for, is that all the other ones are false signals. But yeah, bonk should have a nice breakout soon, according to the charts. So to the member that asked for that, go ahead and check bonk, because I think bonk could actually have a nice breakout. I didn't know it was forming a pattern like this. This is a bullish ascending triangle, and we actually seen the same exact thing on another video that another member asked me to go over, which is the Melania coin. He asked if I could go over this coin because it was doing the same exact signal, which is this. And I did this video for him, the bullish ascending triangle. I did it for him right here. And then boom, it just literally took off. And as you can see here, this is the video that I did on the Melania coin, or whatever Trump's wife is, or whatever her name is. But anyways, I made this on the 9th of November. It's the 11th today. This was 2 days ago. But yeah, I made this video and it had the same exact pattern. That's a bullish ascending triangle. And this is why I like using these wedge patterns a lot for trading. So yeah, if you made money on this trade, let me know. But yeah, I called this trade out for the member of the channel. So if you guys want to go ahead and be a member of the channel, go ahead and become a member of the channel inside of the link. Well, not the link in the description. It's the join button right here, right? It's the join button. Go ahead and hit the join button, guys. It's only $9.99 per month. And you can go ahead and have me go over anything you want. And as you can see here, it says in Thai baht, because I'm in Thailand, 300 Thai baht. But anyway, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the member that recommended me going over Toshi. And yeah, Toshi is it's looking decent. It's looking decent. And as for the bonk that you mentioned, bonk definitely has a bullish pattern forming up here. Now it could break down to the downside. Remember, it's nothing immune from these charts, because I think this is like a 72% win rate for the ascending triangles or something like that. So it's some percentage like that. But yeah, if it is a winning trade, it will go up to 0.00. I'm not even going to say all the zeros. It's going to go up to 1.8. All right. If this is a winning trade, it's going to go all the way up to 1.8, because it has to fill the gap. And you'll hear a lot of traders saying this. Whenever you have a huge sharp drop like that, without any stopping until finally a support, that's what we call a gap. And that's why you'll see them putting areas like this here. So it has to fill this gap right here. So filling this gap gets all the way up to 1.8. So for the member that wanted me to make this video for bonk, if you want, there's a possibility that it could do that. But remember, wait for confirmation. That confirmation will be the second it passes this area right here. Second it passes this, and the exact price, let's say once it gets past 1.4, once it gets past that 1.4 area, I would say then pull the trigger. Once it gets past 1.4, and really 1.43, because that's the resistance up there, 1.43. So once it gets past that 1.4 area, you can pull the trigger. But anyway, shout out to the members out there. Hit the like button and subscribe, everyone. Again, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none is financial advice. Again, Toshi, a little bit in a mixed bag right now. But yeah, shout out to everybody, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back with another video.